Today is May the 17th, 2024, and today is Friday, trading on Friday. So pretty much what I want to show you today is, one, this funded trader thing. I'm gonna just slide this up under the couch because yeah, that's no more. That's no more. That's no more. So back to the drawing board with the discretionary stuff. But as far as the coding and the programming and everything, that's looking pretty good. So and that's why I'm really not even upset about that, is because my efforts have really been toward the programming anyway, and I'm really leaning on the programming to help develop not just the indicators, but also to pull from the market what exactly is happening and get more understanding of the market from a from a very technical standpoint, from a very measured standpoint. So anyway, this is what happened today, and then we'll go over the orders and everything. So I want to do this first little piece, and then I'll take a little break, and then I'll come back later and do the last piece. So if you look here, you'll see that I had the program running this morning, right? It took me a little bit of time to get some of the other components of the program together, up until 11 or so, and then I finally got the program running. You see it took a lot of orders here. So this is on the 1 minute chart. It took a lot of orders, and I believe, okay, so what happened right here is you see it shorted one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then now, you know, we're up cumulatively 2 being short, then 3 being short, then 4 being short. So what was happening is that we're actually continuing to take more trades when we already had a position on. So I didn't realize that I needed to adjust that on my chart. So what I did was, when I got into here, or whatever area it was, maybe up here, we're up 6. So I think here I just closed everything out. And let me pull up the code so I can show you exactly what happened. So exactly what happened is that I did not look for the condition that we already had a position on. So I had to go in and add, this is the dropping strategy. So I had to go in and add this part right here. So if the position provider contains a position, right, then we don't want to trade. So we only want to trade if the if having a position on is false, which means that we don't have a position on. So if the trade criteria is true and we don't have a trade on, then we can trade. And then, yep, so we had to put the once there, send the order. My limit, my offsets and everything was off a little bit. I had to go in and I think I used this strategy here. I used another, well, the short of it is that I was using some other numbers for the stop loss and the take profit. And instead of using those other numbers, I'm just going to try to maybe strictly stick with ticks. So what I was using before was I was using the percent, right? So this number here would be a certain number, but then when it goes down into this field, as it calculates, it will calculate a percent. When you're looking at set stop loss, this is the stop loss of one share. This is not the stop loss price. This is the stop loss amount. And so you got to keep that in mind, right? So the amount that you want to have as a stop loss, where I have it set, is I'm taking the number of ticks, which there's 4 ticks to a point. So we want to take the number of ticks, divide that by 4. That way we get how many points it is. Now we take the points and we multiply that by big point value, which for ES it's $50 a point. For NQ it's $20 a point, those kind of things. So once you get that number of points, you multiply that by the big point value. Now that tells you all together what your amount is. And so your set stop loss has to be a P&L, a profit loss amount. It's not the price, it's the amount. So those were the couple things I had to work out. And then if you see here, this last one is something I actually need to look at right now. buy to cover. Now, this is the strategy part that I can use to back test and to optimize. Now, this part up here is the actual order part, order ticket part. So I spent a lot of time with this strategy and the syntax and everything like that. So this will end up being my new kind of template. But if you notice here, I do have something that says if time is greater than or equal to 1555. Yeah. If automate is true, if time is greater than or equal to 1555 and PT contains, so we do have a position on, then we want to send the flatten order. So the flatten order is going to be equal to the quantity at position 0, which should be your current position. This should tell you the quantity. And then you want to take that quantity and put it into the flatten quantity, and then you want to send that flatten order. Well, somehow that didn't work out right, because if we go toward the end of the day, that should have happened at 1555, right? So greater than or equal to 1555. So that should have happened here. Well, I guess technically here we did not have a position on, but here it should not have taken another order. So we didn't have a position on. So let me show you the error that it did. Messages, events log. This is the error that it did. It said quantity property for order ticket has not been selected or is invalid. So why is that quantity invalid? Because that quantity should have, this quantity should have went to here. So I've got to play with this a little bit. Unfortunately, it's about to be 5 o'clock. I won't be back till later, so I won't be able to play with live time data, and that's what I need in order to work with real-time, real world positions. So I won't be able to actually fix this until next week. So I won't be able to automate on Monday like I want to. I mean, on my real account anyway. I'll still play with it. So, matter of fact, though, I have a bathtub to resurface on Monday, so I won't be doing that anyway, except for later. But I should be able to fix this first thing in the morning, and then I can let it run, and then I'll come back and check it in the afternoon. But so the overall result of this specific strategy, this is just the one that we made the other day. I think we made it yesterday, and it was doing well, and then it started not doing well. So at one point it was up like $150 or something, and then by the end of the day it was down $300. So this is a shorting strategy. So I think what I need to do, just based on what I saw here, was that definitely hitting a lot more profits when the chart was moving down. So maybe I need to make this strategy only execute when the price is below the 200 moving average. So I'm gonna work on that a little bit more, but I've got other strategies that are a little bit stronger than this one. I literally made this one in about 20 minutes just to use as a trial. So we took an additional trade. Maybe the flatten wasn't right. Well, flatten should be buy to cover. Yeah, because we were selling short, so flatten should be buy to cover. So that's right. The time is greater than or equal to 1555, then begin. We're going to print. And we shouldn't be taking any more. If last bar on chart and automated was true. Okay. So it probably could take some more trades, because honestly, we didn't turn this on. Which is crazy, because we went through the effort of setting all this up. The account minimum, if it's the right time of day, if we on the right account. We went through and set all this up. We said all these things have to be true, 1, 2, 3, and then that will equal automate ready. And then we did not put it down here. So this needs to have an automate ready equals true. Okay, so that will prevent it from taking trades after 3:55. But now, as far as the quantity piece, I've got to figure that out when I come back. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down right now. I'm gonna take my laptop with me, and hopefully I can work on it there. All right, guys. Hope you got a little something out of this segment. I will be back shortly with the next segment. What's up, folks? I'm back. So this is the second part to this little video. So I did get a chance to go through why I was out about. I got a chance to go through and figure out what the problem was. So what I had, if you remember, was that down in here prior to, so we were working on the flatten order, right? But when the time was greater than or equal to 15:55 and the now this isn't the right one. This is the order. Actually, it is. No, this isn't right. This is the old what I was going to use for the template before. But this one here has been updated the most. So a couple of other things that I came to realize is, I had like the template, and it had the namespaces and the variables all up top. And then what I did is I went within here and just copied and pasted my entire indicator, if you will, right into here. And so I had new namespaces right here. I had new variables right here. Well, I was getting weird errors. And somehow, with me bringing all the namespaces back at the top, all the variables at the top, it works better. So I'm going to clean this up even a little bit more, but that might help you with some issues that you may have. Just make sure that all your namespaces, variables, all your declarations are at the very top. I know that, just after that, all your methods need to come, but I haven't seen anything that says for a fact, or at least you don't get any errors if you put your variables, declare it down later if the variable is not used until after that. However, just put it all at the top. Okay. All right. So the next thing that we're talking about is the order ticket. So the order ticket, yes. So this, so automate is true. So I don't even need this false part, because if automate is true, then when we come down into here, all of this is conditional for automate to be true. So I don't need the switch here anymore for automate to be true. It's always going to be true if it's within this area. So I don't need this switch statement. So I can take this out. This part here, this flattened part here happens down here, this body cover. So I need to get rid of all this switch, which is all of this. We do need to begin in for that. We don't need this second part of the case. We don't need that end. And begin in. If that, then... Okay, so if the positions provider has something in it, then we want the flattened quantity to be equal to whatever's in the position. And then if the time is greater than or equal to 15:55, and we do have a position on why does it feel like we did that twice? So if we do have a position on, then the flattened order, the quantity for the flattened order is going to be equal to whatever that position quantity is. Now, yeah, well, I think because we had the case switch working down here, we had this extra bit of wording, but we don't even need that now because that's addressed up here. That's addressed by if last bar on chart and time is greater than or equal to 1555, then we're going to begin. Flatten.account is going to be equal to account ID. You know what? So I'll show you the error that I was having, if you remember it. And then I'm just going to work on this next piece, and that ought to just solve the problem. So events log. Did I clear it, or does it? Maybe I didn't realize that it clears when you shut down the program and bring it back up. But either way, I was having an error that said that I think there was a error with the position, with the positions provider index or something like that. But essentially, what was happening was I was calling on the position and there was no position on. I was calling on trying to get the quantity of this position, but there was actually no position on yet. So yeah, all this can be shortened. So it'll be if we're a last bar on chart, so if we're on a live bar and the time is greater than or equal to 1555, so that's toward the end of the day, then begin. We want to do a flatten order, but we don't want to just do a flatten order if it's just that time and it's a live bar. We want to do a flatten order if we have a position on, right? So if it's the last bar on the chart and time is greater than or equal to 1555 and we have a position on. So how do we find the position? We go to position provider dot contains and then symbol account ID, which is what we input. So if we have a position on, then begin. And what are we going to begin? We're going to make sure that the account ID for flatten, right? See, flatten here, we don't have an account on, so we're going to make sure that the account is equal to account ID. And we've already addressed if we have a position on. So now what we need to do, so now we already know that we have position on, so now we just need to take the quantity of the position and assign it to the quantity of flatten. So flatten dot quantity is going to be equal to position provider dot data dot position at index 0 dot quantity. Now that should work. All right, so now we're assigning, so say we had 10 contracts on, say it got to be in 350, 351, 352, 354, 355. At 355, we had 10 contracts on, then the quantity of 10 at our current position of 0, index position of 0, will be, that quantity of 10 will be assigned to the flatten order as a quantity. So now for our flatten order, now we'll have the quantity. It'll be updated to whatever our position size is. Right now, base is just going to be kind of like preloaded up as 1, but now it's going to be changed here to update, reflect whatever position size we have. Okay. Now if time is equal to 15:55, so we don't need to do that because we already addressed that. Okay, and this is the same thing that we have right up here, right? So now the only thing else to do is just send the order. Send it. Then begin. Then begin. Let's just clean this up some. Trade is equal to true, and pp.contains symbol count ID is equal to false, so we don't have a position on. Then we can begin. We can go ahead and assign the account ID for the primary ticket as well as the account ID for the bracket order. Then we're assigning the offsets for the limit and the stop, and then we're assigning the bracket order to the order sends order. Then we're sending it. That's when trade is equal to true. Okay. Then begin. Okay, now if last bar on chart and time is greater than or equal to 15:55, PDB contains, then S equal true. Then begin. Flatten, we get the account ID, we get the quantity, and then the quantity is equal to what our position is, then flatten.send. Okay. Alright, so we've got that. This goes back to here, and this one goes back to here. No, I think we have one too many now. We got rid of some begin ends, and now we have one too many. That's begin end there. This is if true. Begin. I think this is an extra one. Okay, so we got that begin end there. We have this begin end here, and this is the begin end for all this. Good. If automate is equal to false, then that means we're just going to be using the strategy component. So we'll be able to, and when I say just using the strategy, I mean we're using the part of the strategy where we can use historical data, we can back test, we can do optimization. So that's all this down here. Okay, so if automate is equal to false, then begin. That should be all this, yes. Okay, this is extra. When I was using to help kind of debug and figure out my errors. Trade is equal to true, then begin, sell short. So on this one, yeah, we're selling short. Counter A is greater than or equal to 1, counter A is equal to 2. Average price is greater than 0, stop share, yes, yes, yes. All this looks good. Put that in there. And if the time is greater than or equal to 15.55 and the average entry price is greater than 0, then buy to cover this bar close. And you have to do greater than or equal to, because like I said, if you're doing the 5 minute, if you're on a 1 minute bar, then 15.55 will execute. If you're on a 5 minute bar, 15.55 will execute. If you're on a 15 minute bar, 15.55 won't execute because it's not a normal multiple of 15. You would have 15, 30, 45, 60, or 0. If you're on a 2 minute bar, 15.55 will not execute. So you need to pay attention to the bars that you're using, because again, if you enter like on a 10 minute time frame, then you won't get out before 4 o'clock. If you're on a 15 minute time frame, you won't get out before 4 o'clock. But what I usually trade, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 second time frame, I'll get out before 4 o'clock. But like I said, if I am trading the 2 minute, which I do occasionally, then this will get me out at 15.56. So that's why I have to do greater than or equal to. Okay. All right, so let me verify that, see if I have any errors. No errors, very good. Okay, so come to find out, you can't, so if I go to File, Save as Template, I'm going to save this as the template. This now is going to be the automation template. Okay, so it's still dropping, but it's also automation template. Well, it's supposed to be a template, right? So watch. Now when I go to strategy, you see this down here? You see we have these orders down here, these objects. But when I go to strategy and I open up a new strategy, we're just going to call it delete this. The template is automation template. Click OK. And now it does not have any objects from the toolbox. It still holds the names, right? So the names, OSOT. So all I have to do is go over here and I can just click it, right click it, copy it, and then I can paste it. But I mean, so you could do it that way, or this is my strategy and I want this to be my new quote unquote like template. I'll call it template short, right? Or I could go here and I could open the folder here, and then you know what, I'm gonna go to File and I'm gonna go to, instead of Save as Template, we're just gonna Save As, and we're gonna save as template short template with orders. I don't know if it can be this long. Short template, orders, and history. Orders and history. So the history is just saying that we have historical, we can check the historical trades as well. So this is a short. Click OK. All right, so now this turns into that name. Now, instead of saving it as a template, now we have this new name, right? So now we can still go back and go to File and then open up dropping. Dropping is the exact same thing. All right, it's the exact same thing, except for now we have quote unquote a copy. And all we have to do now is go in here and change this strategy part. Change the strategy part. But I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more just so it's easier to work within. And then we can drag and drop some strategies into this thing. Okay, so we got all the account checks. So that's good. Now we have our strategy. This is our the indicator that we had, or our strategy, if you will. And then here's our order ticket. then here is our historical part that we can check against. Okay. All right, so now the only thing I'll do is I'll tighten up this the namespace section using EL system. We have that twice. Drawing objects and collections. All those are only once. And then variables. Why did I do that? Variables, we can. We have more variables here. But these variables are specifically for the strategy. These variables are for the strategy as well. This variable is for the strategy. These variables here are coming from like our indicator, the one that we'll copy and paste in. So we'll just, we'll put that down there by itself, and that'll be the one that gets copied and pasted over. Okay, so this does not need a new line. That's fine, it goes that far out. Okay, I think that's good. Let's verify. Okay, good to go. All right, so let's go back. So this is going to be our short template. Make sure we remember that. Okay, so let's go back here, and if we go to edit studies, go to strategy. Now we were trading with this today, so this was on true when we had it as automate. Now it's under false because we were looking at some optimization scores. So I probably need to change this. You know what? I don't need two different sets, because right now I have two different sets. So I got a stop offset for the actual order ticket, and I have a limit offset for the actual order ticket. I've got stop ticks for the actual order ticket and profit. Stop ticks for the strategy, the historical backtesting part, and then I've got profit ticks for the historical backtesting part, which I don't actually need two different sets of variables. I can do it with one. So with the order ticket, I'm using stop offset and limit offset. Because before I was using, like I said, I was using percentage for the strategy, for the historical, the backtesting part, and I was using ticks for the new automated strategy part. And I really want to keep it the same. That way, when I backtest, it'll just be the same. So I'm actually going to change this. They're going to be the same. So I'm going to get rid of one of the sets. So limit offset and stop offset. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. So we'll leave that. So now we'll come down here to the historical backtest part. And so for our, and again, remember, we're doing, this is a short version. So this will be what I call the limit offset. So this will be the profit side, limit offset, and then this will be stop offset. This is good. This is good. This is good. I like this. All right. Oh, what did I have? Where are my inputs? I snuck inputs over there? Yes, I did. Okay, so the inputs, need to cut that. And then put those right here. Not only do I put them right there, but I'm keeping the limit offset and the stop offset so I can get rid of these two. Okay, verified it. So now I come back over here, go to edit studies. Now I don't have so many you know what, I updated that on my new template, on the short template, the new template, so I need to update it here. I'm not going to go through all the formatting changes just because it's not necessary, because this is gonna this strategy is just kind of the bucket. I'm just kicking the bucket right now, and once I get all this situated and I can just drop strategies and stuff in here, I won't need to do all this. Let's see, this is limit offset. This is stop offset. Verify. Okay, come over here. Okay, so now they're both 12. So this is essentially 12 ticks. Alright, so if we say we want to lose $50, which is 1 point, that's 4 ticks. We'll start at 4, and then we'll say we'll hope to get a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we'll say, and this should be 4. We'll just say 8, and then we'll optimize. Okay, optimize. Not enough data. It did that for me yesterday, which is weird because no trades generated. I think it's more so that something is wrong. Automate false, that offset. I think it's just not taking any trades. You know what? For kicks and giggles, just because we went through the other one so well, the short template orders and strategy. Let me just open that one up and see if that one is better prepared, if it's more fine-tuned. Hard to fine-tune it when it's not during market hours, though, I'll tell you that. Not enough data, which is not possible. So is it our strategy that's messed up? Set false. So this is the strategy. Trade equals true. Automate. Automate equals true. Nope. Automate is equal to false. So we're doing this down here. And Eric's market. And begin. If trade is equal to true. And begin. We're going to sell short. Yep. Sell. This bar closed. Counter A is equal to 1. Counter A is greater than or equal to 1. And counter A plus equal to 1. Counter A is equal to 2. And average price is greater than 0, then we're going to begin stop share, set stop loss, limit offset divided by 4. Yes, I'll come back and check that. If time is greater than equal to 1355, 1555 and interspersed, then buy the cover. Selling short, buy the cover, yep. The only thing I can think of is for some reason this is throwing it off. Alright, but let me see. The limit offset divided by 4. This limit offset is ticks. We're going to divide that by 4, that gives us points, and then that multiply that times big point value. Yes. And then the set stop loss. when we're shorting, it's the stop loss. Yeah, well, up here for order tickets, you have to do a plus and a minus, right, for the offset. But down here, you don't, because it's already programmed in, because the profit target is going to be this many dollars above or in the direction of your trade. And then this one is going to be that many dollars against your trade. Let me mute that out and see if that is what it likes. Alright, I want to turn off all the trades on the chart. Just the actual trades that were taken. And come back here, strategies. Let's do properties for all. Okay. 237 4789F. Okay. Automated is equal to false. That should be right. Not enough data. 15-second chart. Well, I wasn't trading this on the 15-second chart. It was on the 1 minute chart. So maybe that's the difference. Now, what is this? Okay, here we go. Yeah. So on the 15-second chart, it just doesn't find any trades, essentially. So we change it to the 15-second chart, finds no trades. On the 1 minute chart, finds trade. Yes, baby. Okay. All right, so just for a recap on the, well, one of the things that I did have to do is I had to go and turn this back on so we can flatten at the end of the day. But then on the 15-second time frame, we didn't have any trades. On the 1 minute time frame, we do have trades, right? And then on the 5 minute time frame, again, no trades generated. Okay, so on the 15-second time frame seems to be no, it's the 1 minute time frame, and so we have trades there. We are only currently set up to go 10 days back. Let's go 50 days back, and let's see what kind of curve we get prior to optimization. It looks like this. So let us go and see about optimizing. Right now, it looks like the risk is 6, the reward is 12. If we go to, wait a minute. Okay, well that's at the end of the spectrum. So let's increase this to 25, just to give it some room to play. Increase this to 12. Again, 12 is just what, 3 points? So give it some room to play, and see what we get. Because when you do your optimization, if your values are at the end of your spectrum, then that means most of the time that that's not a sweet spot. Not at the end. It's not at a sweet spot. So let's see what that look like. All right. So honestly, it looks kind of similar, but still looks decent, right? It looks kind of similar. So I want to go here. This pulls up our optimization report, and then one that I saw earlier today that you can go with is like perfect curve something. Profit? No, it was let's just do this and do this. Perfect profit something. Perfect profit correlation. So we're going to click on that and see which one has the best. Click on apply test chart, and then looks very similar. Okay, so now let's sort it by let's see the least amount of drawdown. Where's the drawdown? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Drag this up. Okay, drawdown. Yeah, I must be looking right at it. not seeing it. Okay, I'm tripping. Well, I'm not gonna look at this too much, so I'll give it one more go around. Bet it's this one. Yeah, it's partially shown. So this one, going from least to greatest. This would be the least amount of drawdown to the most amount of drawdown, and so the curve looks like that, which I could live with that. Could I? I don't know. But at any rate, if the curve look like that, then it means that your values are, hopefully it's not a negative risk to reward ratio. All right, so 4 to 16. So 4 on the risk side. Yep. And then 16 on the take profit side. So that's not bad. I was looking at one the other day and it was negative risk to reward. Okay, so once we get that out of here, see what it would have looked like for today. A lot of profit targets here, a lot of profit targets. So anyway, but again, it's, you know, trading is a numbers game. It's a consistency game. Can you be consistent? So with that, guys, I hope you got something out of this. I am Eric. I am out. Peace.